Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. In this video, we will discuss NVIDIA stock price movement for today and we'll try to make an assessment for rest of the week using fundamentals and technical charts. Now, let's get started. You see NVIDIA stock chart for today on your screen. NVIDIA opened at 121.77. It made a high 122.87. It made a low 118.74 and it closed at 120.91. That is 0.71% down. As we expected yesterday that today NVIDIA should be moving sideways or a little drop could happen. So same thing happened today. So this was a slow day for Nvidia, and Nvidia went down a little bit. So now moving on, last 5 days, Nvidia still up 2.21%, last 1 month 33%, and last 6 months 153.69%. So today I did not buy any Nvidia stock. I'm hoping Nvidia can go further down tomorrow before the FOMC meeting or maybe after FOMC meeting so I can buy some Nvidia stocks. Or if the CPI data comes better than expected, then probably Nvidia will go up tomorrow. So it all depends on the data tomorrow and tone of the FOMC meeting and Mr. Powell conference. Now let's take a look technical charts. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia on your screen and also the MACD chart. As we noted yesterday as well, MACD was moving very slow, so there was not enough momentum yesterday as well. And today you also notice that very little movement on Nvidia. So MACD line is moving very slow. So for tomorrow, I'm expecting the same thing. As Nvidia should be moving slow or moving sideways, or a little drop can happen if the CPI data comes higher than the forecast. Let's take a look 30 minutes chart. In a 30 minutes chart, you see the same behavior. This means that in the shorter time interval, Nvidia is showing the same behavior, no momentum I see at this point. Now let's take a look RSI. So RSI in a 30 minutes chart is at 51, slightly lower than yesterday. So it's trending down. But for tomorrow, we cannot predict much from RSI. Now let's take a look Bollinger Bands. So you see Bollinger Bands on your screen based on hourly interval chart. So at this point, NVIDIA stock is touching the blue line, and that is 20-day moving average. So that tells also that not enough momentum on Nvidia. And also you see that the lower band and upper band is shrinking and it's trying to go further down. So as I expected on Friday and also on Monday, that I see some slightly downward movement on Nvidia starting yesterday. So same thing I'm expecting for tomorrow based on the Bollinger Bands. It also depends on the CPI data and FOMC meeting. Now let's take a look Fibonacci levels. You see Fibonacci levels starting from 0% to 100%. The highest is 124.55 and the lowest point as selected is 93.76. So at this point, NVIDIA is moving between these two levels, 0% and 23% retracement. And I think that NVIDIA should be moving between these two levels for some time. If it breaks 117.28, the next level of support is 112.79. But I don't see Nvidia is gonna break 117 level anytime tomorrow. And also at the same time, the next resistance level is 124.55, and that's a strong resistance. I'm not expecting Nvidia to go and break that level this week. Now let's take a look news regarding Nvidia. So let's take a look. This one that says stocks do not need rate cuts to keep rallying. Just ignore other risk. I kind of agree with that. So even if Fed does not mention any rate cuts in tomorrow's meeting, as long as they do not use the hawkish tone or they do not mention any interest rate hike, that will still be a good news for the market. So now the next one that says Nvidia stock split might not lead to sustained rally, but it could replace Intel in Dow index. So that's also true. Uh, Nvidia stock split news is not something new for the market. So I'm not expecting Nvidia to go another 10 or 15% up in next week or so. So now another price target increase. Argus Research maintains buy on Nvidia. Adjust price target to 150. The previous price target they had was 110. The $40 increase. And also from this guy, Evercore ISI Group maintains outperform on Nvidia, raises price target to 145. So they had previously 131, now they raised to 145, that is $14 up. And that's a good thing. So this one is interesting. The Goldman Sachs maintains the buy rating on Nvidia and raises the price target to 135. They used to have 120 before, now 135. So $15 up. So Goldman Sachs normally is conservative in raising the price target. Since they raised to 135, this means they might have noticed something on Nvidia that had triggered them to raise the price target for Nvidia. I guess my maximum price range for Nvidia for this quarter was around 136. I shared with you over the weekend. Let's take a look one more time. Yeah, it's 139 instead of 136. So I was little optimistic on Nvidia. So my price target is 139, the maximum target for this quarter. It doesn't mean that it would touch 139. It means that I'm not expecting Nvidia to go further higher than 139 this quarter. Now, this one a good news for Nvidia and overall AI stocks. So that says that Taiwan semi outperforms China's top chip maker. Let's take a look. So if I scroll down further, it says that TSMC May sales went up by 30% to $7.1 billion. So 30% year over year increase, and that's a very good sign for Nvidia. So since TSMC is a major supplier for Nvidia, so this tells me that NVIDIA should also report a very strong revenue for this quarter. I think that's all about news regarding NVIDIA. Let's take a look at other AI stocks. You see on your screen the highest positive change is in Apple, that's 7.26%, Palantir 3.1%, Avago 1.43%, Microsoft 1.12%, Amazon 0.09%. All other four stocks are negative. So this means that most of the AI stocks are negative today. Let's take a quick look on CPI data. You see these tables on your screen, the overall CPI actual versus forecast. So take a look. The last cycle 3.4% and the forecast is 3.4% this cycle as well. The actual should meet the forecast. On the core CPI side, the last cycle, the actual was 3.6 and the forecast is 3.5. The forecast is a little bit lower than last cycle actual. So I'm guessing maybe core CPI comes higher than the forecast. Maybe it can keep 3.6%. And if you take a look at the trend, the CPI overall is almost flat starting from June 2023. So no sign of improvement from there. And also on the core CPI side, it's trending down but very slow. So that will be interesting how FOMC meeting tomorrow reads the CPI or the inflation data and overall trend. I don't think they will be satisfied with the performance of the inflation at this point. And regarding the Fed rate, at this point, the target rate is between 5.25 and 5.5. So as you notice that Fed started raising the interest rate sometime in March 2022, and they raised a big time in 2022 and also sometime later in 2022 as well. And but after that they reduced the pace, and sometime last 12 months they either have not increased it or their pace was so low. There was some here increase, probably 25%. But you notice that after they raised the interest rate in 2022 and 2023, CPI started coming down, and sometime in June and July 2023, we see the bottom. It's not going down any further. It's it's moving around between 3.4, 3.3, and 3.5, from last 6 or 7 months. So I shared with you this data. I guess this will be a meaningful information for you. So that's all about NVIDIA analysis and assessment for tomorrow and rest of the week. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.